Shall we begin?
Why would a good God allow suffering to exist? Does God really exist?
Let's begin now.
Why did God command the deaths of so many people in the Bible? Why does God remain so hidden?
Let's begin now.
Recently, my wife introduced me to a book by Hans Christian Andersen. It's about a tale of a king who likes fine clothing, and he's very vain. He hires two tailors to make him the best outfits. And the tailors, who are really scam artists, make him a promise that they will use the best material, and the material is invisible. The only people that will be able to see it are those that are fit to see it. So they go and they make the clothes, and they invite the king and his ministers, and they try on this outfit that they prepared. And all look and say, wow, it's great, because they don't want to seem unfit. The king, wearing the clothes, decides to now go into the street and march. And everybody in the town looks and says, wow, the clothes are beautiful. And then out of nowhere, a kid who's too young to know what is happening shouts out, why is the emperor not wearing any clothes? And they take the emperor, they take the little child, and they hush him. I think that is what's happening today. Political correctness, especially when it comes to the issue of transgenderism. Today, I have invited Dr. Tony Costa with me to discuss this interesting and unique topic. Dr. Costa, what do you say to somebody that says to you, this is who I am, I can't change?
Well, what I would say is that, once again, from a biblical point of view, from a biblical Christian point of view, the idea here is that you can change. You don't define who you are. Ultimately, who defines you is God. You did not have a choice in your birth. You don't have a choice in your hair color, your skin color, your eye color. All of these things you had no choice in. And you definitely don't have a choice in your destiny as well, even though we think we do. So what I would say is that, no, people can change. The Bible is very clear that there were people in the early church who were people who were engaged in these types of acts, homosexuality, they engaged in idolatry, adultery, and other sexual deviant acts. The Bible says that they were once in this lifestyle, but they were changed. They came into a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. And there are people today who can testify to that, people who were engaged in these types of lifestyles, who have come into a relationship with Jesus Christ. And they are living lives that are glorifying to God. But it's interesting that when Jesus invites us to follow him, it's quite interesting that he says that if you want to follow me, you must deny yourself. And you have to take up your cross and follow me. What does that mean? You have to deny yourself. You have to deny your wants, your needs. You have to deny it's not about you. You're not number one. You're not the center of the universe. He is. And he calls us to a life of surrender, to surrender to him and to follow him, to take up that cross and to face opposition and struggle. And so the idea that you cannot change, that is not true. This is like the alcoholic saying, I cannot change. I am who I am. I love my booze. You can't change me. Now the thing is, an alcoholic can get treatment, an alcoholic can get therapy, and an alcoholic can come out clean. But all it takes is one bottle to come right back again to the gutter. And so let's just say that it's a constant struggle. It's a struggle in this life, but is there change? Is there possibility of change? Absolutely.
You know, I could hear somebody right now thinking, alcohol and sexual identity are different. What would you?
No, not at all. I mean, studies have shown that people who have a predisposition to alcoholic abuse, that this is something that is inherent in them, in their DNA, right from birth. So it is something that is integral to them. And so it's not something that they just choose to be, as we keep hearing, being an alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's intrinsic to them.
Okay.
And so even if it could be proven that someone is born with a predisposition towards sexual attraction to children or to people of the
Yes.
same sex, again, it doesn't logically prove that these behaviors are legitimate or moral.
Okay.
Because, again, we are all fallen. We're sinful creatures. We're in need of God's redemption.
I guess that's just the thrust. We are all falling. Let me push a question a little bit further now. You have an individual, and I was in class with an individual that had transitioned. Once female, now male, and has done the sexual reassignment. Showed me a picture in class and said, "Look at me as a little boy." And when I looked at that picture, it was a girl with a ponytail in a dress looking like Mary Poppins. But in their mind, they're a little boy. What happens to a person who has fully transitioned?
Well, studies have also shown, there's a study out of a major university in the United States by a psychiatrist who specializes in this area of transitioning. And in his report, he actually said that over 60% of people who transition commit suicide.
Wow.
And what is interesting is that when this study came out, I was absolutely astonished that our media was not reporting on this,
Yeah,
that they were
why?
not talking about this. And there's been similar cases from Harvard Medical School where certain findings have shown that certain things that our society accepts as normative, that these findings have shown that these things are actually very harmful to the individual and to society. And so I think the reason why this doesn't come out into the public is because it goes against the politically correct storyline. Okay. It's against the agenda. And so people who transition, what we're never told is the fact that many of them end up committing suicide. And I think it's because they have not met the expectation that they thought they were going to meet.
Interesting.
And then they feel that they can't reverse it. And so this leads to dire consequences.
Dr. Costa, thank you.
Always my pleasure.